Hello and welcome to CJN International, a show brought to you by the Department of Communication and Journalism at Suffolk University. I'm Melissa Fajardo from Mexico.
And I'm Laura Ruiz from Colombia. On today's show, we will be breaking down the case of Mexico's recent tragedy of Ayotzinapa students.
Today marks day 165 of the 43 Ayotzinapa students gone missing. You might have seen Ayotzinapa in a Twitter hashtag or pictures in protest of Mexico. Or you might have not, because this deeply serious issue is not being completely covered by the media. Mexico has been experiencing one of the worst times in the history of their country, under the president of Enrique Peña Nieto. It all began September of last year. Laura, why don't you start by giving us the facts?
Ayotzinapa Normal School in the state of Guerrero, Mexico, it is a school created with the purpose of providing opportunity to low-income students to become teachers and leaders. On September 26th of last year, around 100 Ayotzinapa students entered the city of Iguala in buses to protest education reforms. The mayor, José Luis Abarca, orders police to arrest them. Dozens of them escape while dozens do not. 43 students were reported missing on September 27 after not being found in any jails or police stations.
After this event happened, the mayor and his wife disappeared. They were both found guilty on charges related to drug cartel money laundering and relations to Guerreros Unidos, a violent and dangerous Mexican drug cartel. Guerreros Unidos declared that they took the students, set them on fire, and hid them in mass graves. Argentinian forensics step in and report that the remainings on the graves do not match the DNA of the students. Shortly after, Ángel Aguirre, the governor of Guerrero, resigns. Questions remain unanswered. The families of the students cry for justice and cling to hope for Mexico's missing 43.
Thousands of people take the streets of Mexico City and major cities worldwide in solidarity for Ayotzinapa. Officials announced in a press release that students were likely killed by drug cartel executioners, yet there is no concrete evidence. On November 8 of last year, protests began to turn violent for the first time. Masked individuals set fire to the 150-year-old door of the National Palace in Mexico City. Witnesses allegedly said that police arrested people at random.
The president delivers a national address on November 27, where he proposes a plan of judicial reform. The citizens find the plan dull and do not trust that the reform will go forth, as many other proposals from the president. Things continue to go downhill. On December 5th, Mexico City's police chief resigns. The next day, officials confirmed the death of 19-year-old Alexander Mora, one of the missing students. 42 students remain missing.
In January of this year, Mexico's Attorney General Jesus Murillo Caram declared without any legal evidence the students were deceased and closed the case. Murillo resigned on February 27. Their families and many others are skeptical about the investigation and the lack of evidence and plan to protest in at least 45 U.S. cities for the vanished.
The families are angry at the government, and the tragedy has become a well-deserved PR disaster for President Enrique Peña Nieto's government. Mexico disagrees on how the president is handling the case, as he seems to forget that the innocent students are still missing. This raises many more questions of the way Mexico is being governed. The Ayotzinapa case has become more than a tragedy. The fate of these students is a symbol of the corruption and violence that goes unpunished in Mexico.
After this short break, Mexican student Fico Bernaldo will be in the studio for a further discussion on the topic.
We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere.
It's a beautiful day out here, sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it, let's go.
Welcome back to CJN International.
We're here with Fico Bernaldo de Quiroz. Fico, thank you so much for being here with us today. So, what are your thoughts on how the government handled Ayotzinapa?
You know, I really think that they handled it very poorly. I really don't know who's behind the president's PR, but he did a horrible job. That being said, the government's actions have been they baffle me. You know, it's been horrible. I really don't see the presence. I don't see them taking action at anything. It's incredible. I mean, how is it possible that with today's technology and the manpower that the government has, they just have not found 43 people? Yeah. You know, it's not that Mexico is the whole world. It's not like you're talking about Siberia. It's a limited country. There's so much borders and there's so much you can do. I mean, they're telling the people that over 10,000 agents have gone into finding the students. They bring people from Argentina. They send forensics to Austria, and still we don't know. It's been 6 months today.
It's crazy.
So, what do you think is the biggest mistake Peña Nieto has made over this presidency?
You know, it's hard to say. I feel like the problem is not him. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that we returned to a perfect dictatorship, right, which is the return of PRI after a 12-year hiatus of no PRI. Mm-hmm. Became PAN came in.
PRI is a party.
PRI is a part of the Institutional Revolutionary Party of Mexico, and now it's back. And it came with its worst form, which is Enrique Peña Nieto, and I think that the worst thing he has done, it's the cynicism, because I mean, you're telling me that you bought an $8 million house, but it's not yours, and then you blame it on your soap opera actress wife, who bought this house in less than a year with $8 million.
With the money of the government.
No, and I want to let the viewers know about our president and exactly the cynicism you said. Please talk about the time. Do you know when he was at the book fair?
Oh, of course.
He had we're dealing with a president who doesn't read. One, seriously, he was at a book fair. Do you want to tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, he was asking it's just again the cynicism. He launched a book. He was presenting a book at the International Fair of the Book in Guadalajara, the state of Jalisco, and he was asked, "What books are your favorite?" Right, and first of all he said that he had read. I think it was La Ciudad del Poder by Krause. Mm-hmm. And the author and both the name of the book, non-existent. And then further on, he stated, he got really nervous, and then he said that he had read the Bible. But then he went on by saying that he had read bits and parts of it here and there of the Bible. You know,
so he can't back himself up.
No.
Yeah. Going back to what the Ayotzinapa students, what do you think has been the worldwide impact for it?
I mean, it was at one point amazing. It did cause an uproar, but then it ceased. You know, it seemed like it was just a story. You know, it went into Wikipedia pages, and that's where it is. I don't think that there has been any action that has cause for change.
Actually, the president was just in London, and even people in the United Kingdom. Because he seems so happy and he's with the Queen and waving and smiling. Everybody seems to forget that this is just not a story. These students are still missing.
Yeah, it's an ongoing thing.
And so people in the UK actually were with signs, Ayotzinapa, to remind them that this case can just be closed and bye-bye. So
what do you think has been the students' response to this and people in the outside, kind of going back to all the protests that are going on right now? Yeah. Have you been part of any activities?
Yes, I mean, I've been to a couple of protest vigils here in Boston. I've also been very vocal when I'm back home of both the president and the current state of things, which mm-hmm. are horrible. And now that you bring the students, the overall reception of the president, actually yesterday they did a poll by the periódico Reforma, and it came out that 78% of students in Mexico disapprove of the current government, which is no surprise. You know, it's just the level of cynicism, impunity, corruption that our country lives, it's out of the charts.
Completely.
So,
what are your thoughts for the future of Mexico?
You know, I just hope for a Mexico that where the PRI is nothing but a bad dream, you know, just a scar in the country's history. I really do hope that the Mexican citizenship, they come together, regardless of social standpoint, economic background, mm-hmm. religious, race, just for them to fight for a just cause, you know, one in which we can build a country that we deserve. I feel like I one day want to have my kids, you know, walk the streets and feel safe. I just hope for a Mexico in which our cities, you know, our kinmen don't have to.
There's a lot of potential too. It's a country with a lot of potential.
I just wish that our own people don't have to cross a river in search for a job that they cannot obtain in their own country.
Right. Yeah, that's
true.
completely true. Yeah.
That's good, Fico. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here. Yes, and guys, this was CJN International. We'll see you next time. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.